All right. We are live recording here with Sinnissippi Centers, and I am DeAnne White, the Chief Administrative Officer at Sinnissippi, and I am joined by Sinnissippi colleagues Andy Jackson, our Marketing Coordinator, and Cris, our Director of Quality Assurance and Corporate Compliance. And we are super excited to be joined by staff and faculty from the University of Illinois School of Social Work. And they're here today to talk about some exciting new programs that they have for students to help strengthen the behavioral health force in our area and the rest of the Midwest. So I'm going to turn it over to start with Christine Escobar-Sawicki, who is a clinical associate professor, and she's going to talk about the online BSW program.
Thank you, DeAnne. Well, I am here to talk about IBSW, which is a brand new program. It is an online Bachelor of Social Work program. And so as soon as my PowerPoint comes up, the first thing I'm going to talk very briefly about is just different types of social work degrees. And everybody who is on the call is going to be talking about okay, it looks like there we go. The different programs that I'm mentioning, but just to give everyone an overview about what social work is. And let's see if I can make this bigger. Is this large or not so large? It is large.
It looks good.
Okay. Okay, because I can't see it very well, but that just could be the way I'm viewing it. Okay, so obviously, there are three types of degrees that you could get related to social work. The first is an associate's degree, and that's, of course, a community college degree. And the way that our IBSW program is structured is for students who have a community college degree. So the idea is that you are able to go to your community college, get your two-year degree, and then transfer over to our IBSW program. And that is essentially going to be a program that's going to get you a Bachelor's of Social Work degree. And so on here, we've listed out, and we can go ahead and send this so it can be included in the links, just different positions that are available to students who graduate with these different types of degrees in social work. And so again, there's the associate's degree, there's the Bachelor's of Social Work degree, which I'm going to talk about, and then there's the Master's of Social Work degree, which is going to be talked about today by Cheryl Street and some other people. But just a little bit of history about our School of Social Work. So we were established at the University of Illinois in 1944, and our on-campus program reopened in 2010. This IBSW program is actually beginning in fall of 2022. And we offer three different degree programs: a Bachelor's of Social Work, a Master's of Social Work, and a PhD. And we are accredited by the Council on Social Work Education. And this is an important point because social work as a master's degree, and actually as a bachelor's degree, is a licensable profession. And so it's important that if students are thinking about getting their social work degree, they want to become licensed, that they seek out an accredited School of Social Work. And the good news is that we are. So as I mentioned, our IBSW program is a two-year junior-senior degree completion program that allows community college graduates to get your BSW through both online courses and then an internship in your area. And the way we envision this is that most of the classes will be on Zoom or be done through an online course management system. And the first Saturday of every semester, there'll be an opportunity for students to go in person. The location has yet to be determined. It may be Chicago. However, there's also going to be an option to Zoom into that in-person experience. And again, that would just be once a semester. Our goal is for IBSW students to receive individual attention, planning, and support from an advisor. So IBSW students will take classes in the areas of social work practice, research, social welfare policy, and human behavior in the social environment. So it's going to align very closely with our on-campus program. And then what we envision is senior year students will have an opportunity to do a social work internship, which we call a field placement. And that is an opportunity to really put into practice what you've learned. And so we have full-time faculty who are specifically devoted to field education and will work with each student to prepare them for their internship. And then once you're placed in an organization, which that will be on a part-time basis, that will be the final 2 semesters of the program during your senior year or your 4th year. And while you're in your internship, you'll also take an internship course that corresponds with that. We'll also meet with students at your site to review your progress, discuss concerns, and provide ongoing support throughout the internship. So again, a Bachelor's of Social Work degree is a combination of both coursework and actually an opportunity to practice in the field. So another important piece to keep in mind is that University of Illinois offers something called an Illinois Commitment, which is a financial aid package that will provide scholarships and grants to cover tuition and campus fees. Now, there are some requirements about this, and we encourage you to check out Illinois Commitment on the website. Students do need to be Illinois residents, under 24 years of age, and have a family income of $67,100 or less. But this will cover tuition and campus fees for transfer students as well as on-campus students. So that's an important piece. Particularly if you're not going to be living on campus, you won't have that additional cost of housing. You'll be able to live in your home community, and it is possible to, if you meet this criteria, to have your tuition and fees covered. So definitely check that out. And then another important component to our program, which I suspect Cheryl may talk a little bit more about, is a seamless transition to our MSW program. So our BSW graduates who have a certain GPA can seamlessly transition into our 1-year advanced standing MSW program. And as I mentioned, Cheryl probably will touch base on that. But that's an important thing to note in terms of kind of progression of potentially, if you're someone that wants to get their master's degree in social work, our BSW program does have a fast track so that you could potentially get that. And again, Cheryl will be talking more about that in just a second. So one of the things that we're encouraging potential students to do is to reach out to us, because we're happy to talk with you about potential community courses that you could be taking, give you some ideas about some expectations that we'll have for the program, and again, even help you kind of decide what courses to take in order to potentially transfer to our program. And so we encourage you to reach out to us. And there's 2 ways that you can do that. You can email us at the email address listed, or you can attend. We have a virtual information session that meets every other week. And that is an opportunity to learn more about our program, but also potentially speak to an advisor and get more information about coursework that could be articulated towards this program. So again, we encourage you, even if you're a first year or you're thinking of going to community college, we encourage you to reach out to us so we can talk with you about that ahead of time. Our applications open December 15th, and they will actually be open now. It says March 1st, but I think it's been extended to March 8th. So certainly if this is something you're interested in considering, please reach out to us, and we are more than happy to talk with you about that. And so I will turn it now over to Cheryl Street, who's going to speak with you about our IMS and MSW program.
Good afternoon. I want to welcome everyone. My name is Cheryl Street, and I am the Director of Graduate Enrollment at the School of Social Work. Today, I'm going to talk about our IMSW program. Our IMSW program is a part-time program that was specifically designed for non-traditional education. We have delivered non-traditional education throughout the state of Illinois for over 30 years now. We are accredited by the Council on Social Work Education, as Christine mentioned. That's incredibly important when you are looking at social work programs. Our IMSW program offers 2 concentrations. We have the advanced clinical concentration, Within that, individuals can choose a focus area of children, youth, and family services, mental health, healthcare, or school social work. That program is a hybrid program with more than 90% of the classes being fully online with evening synchronous Zoom sessions, and only 3 of the courses that are hybrid, and those hybrid courses have classes on Saturdays. So this program is intended for working individuals. The leadership and social change concentration is a fully online program, but it is focusing on macro social work. So it is preparing individuals who are more interested in doing those macro skills. The cost for our IMSW program, tuition rates are not out yet for our 2022 academic year, but last year it was $598 per credit hour. A student that is an advanced standing student, so someone with a BSW degree within the last 7 years from a CSWE accredited program, can complete the program in 44 credit hours. It comes out to right around $26,000. For a traditional student, that's a 72 credit hour program, and that comes out about a little over $43,000. So for being a primarily online program, we are very economical in regards to that. This slide will review the admissions requirements for the IMSW program. Again, as Christine mentioned, if somebody does our BSW program and then wants to roll straight into our MSW program, they do have a lot fewer hoops to jump through when it comes to the application process. For someone transitioning from BSW to MSW, it's just a condensed graduate college application as long as they meet the criteria set above, and I'm always happy to talk to individuals about that. Otherwise, the application process is pretty straightforward. It's the grad app, 3 letters recommendation, personal statement, resume, and transcripts. The deadline to apply for either this summer, 2022, if you're a traditional student, or for those that might have a bachelor's degree in social work, they actually would start in spring of 2023. The final deadline's February 7th, 2022. And if anyone has any additional questions or would like to set up a one-on-one meeting with me directly, feel free to reach out. My email address is there. I'm happy to set up any type of appointment to clarify or go over more in depth how our IMSW program works. And now I'm going to turn it over to Andrea Harris, who is a part of one of our scholar programs, and she's going to tell you about that.
Thank you, Cheryl. So as an MSW student at the School of Social Work, you'll have lots of opportunity to participate in different trainings and leaderships. And one of those scholars program that Cheryl mentioned is the BWELL program. And Cheryl, if you could stop sharing your screen so I could go ahead and share mine. All right. So if you're interested in clinical practice that brings together health and mental health, training and working in interprofessional teams, mind-body interventions, the BWELL program could be a great opportunity. BWELL is an advanced clinical training program in integrated behavioral health, where we integrate healthcare, mental health, substance misuse services by interprofessional teams. And BWELL scholars choose internships in high-need, high-demand behavioral health shortage areas, working with rural and underserved populations. So if you're from the Sinnissippi or the Dixon area close to Sinnissippi Center, this could be a great opportunity because no doubt you've experienced some of these mental health shortage needs and see the need for behavioral health in rural areas. Some good pros to the BWELL program is that you receive extra clinical training, interprofessional education, so learning to work with different professionals in the healthcare field. We offer a $10,000 stipend during field. certificate in integrated behavioral health, free CEU events, preparation to prep you for your LCSW, professional networking, leadership development, career development, and serving your community and making a difference. So we're really interested in students from these areas that want to go back to their community and work in behavioral health. So if you have any questions, I'll definitely provide these links in the description of this video of our website, as well as some videos we have, and you can always email us. We'll provide that information. And I'll pass it over to our program director, Dr. Liechty, to talk a little bit more about the program.
Great. Thank you, Andrea. Hi, everybody. We are so eager to meet you and to learn about your interests in social work and in advancing your career to help your communities and work at excellent places like the Sinnissippi Center. Andrea, in the next slide, if you want to move forward on that one, what our grant, the purpose of our grant, it's through HRSA, a federal agency, Health Services Research and Services Administration, and they recognize the behavioral health shortages in counties throughout the U.S. And if you look at this map, the dark blue counties are counties where there's a known shortage of behavioral health providers, like social workers, psychologists, counselors. And as social workers here, we understand how important a degree like social work from an accredited university is for being able to, for agencies to be able to bill for services and to understand not only individual factors, but also to be able to look at the whole environment that a person is in, their social determinants of health. And we welcome you to contact us, learn more about our programs. We'd love to welcome you and have you grow professionally with our programs. You can see the 3 circles here are what we call our grow zones. These are areas in Illinois where we've had long-time partnerships, and we're eager to expand that and to develop more close working relationships, a little bit more of close back and forth between U of I there in Champaign and our centers, centers for training and centers for behavioral workforce like Sinnissippi Center. So thanks for your interest and listening, and we look forward to hearing from you. And now I want to turn it over to my colleague, Mary Maurer. And by the way, I'm Janet Liechty. I don't know if I introduced myself, but here's Mary.
Thanks, Janet. Hi, everyone. I am Mary Maurer. I'm a clinical associate professor at the School of Social Work, and I teach in both the BSW and MSW programs, and I'm also a part of the BWELL team, so that's why I'm here today. But fun fact, I actually grew up in Dixon, so I wanted to say hi to all the Dixon Dukes out there. And but I also want to let you know that I received my MSW from the School of Social Work in what was then called the Outreach Program 30 plus years ago when I was living in Rockford. And now that's called the IMSW program. So I am here to tell you that this is doable. I worked full time while I was completing my degree. So I hope you'll give it some thought, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you all so much for all of that information. I know that we have a lot of young professionals, seasoned professionals, individuals who are considering social work as a career opportunity in this area and in all of those underserved areas of the state of Illinois. That's part of the reason why here at Sinnissippi, we developed the CMHC Rural Training Center of Excellence. And it was to provide an opportunity, a coordinated opportunity for those individuals to get their internship needs met in a structured training environment. And Cris Mugrage has taken over that program. And so I'm going to let her talk a little bit more about what that looks like here at Sinnissippi.
Thanks, DeAnne.
So while I am the Director of Quality Assurance and Corporate Compliance, which is a lot of stuff that most people don't go to social work school for, I also, from my clinical days, have kept hold of our internship program because it is probably my most favorite thing that I do in my job. So I coordinate, do all the interviews and all of that with our students that are coming in. Make sure they get set up at the right place, doing the right thing based on what they want to do in the future. What I've shared here on screen is a couple different tracks that we have. At this point, we are, I believe, getting ready to open or just opened our 13th site. So pretty much if you want to do it in the social work world, we do it, and we do it very well, I think. So we have a couple different tracks that typically our clinical folks are going to go towards. One is our child and adolescent track. So really focusing on working with youth and families, all the way down to the littles sometimes, 5 years old. We also do some early childhood, and then up through our adolescent age, more family therapy, some school-based therapy. So if you like doing therapy in school, but you don't really want to be a school social worker where you're going to spend all your time doing IEPs and things like that, this is a route to go to be able to do that. Our adult services track, we focus clinically on primarily working with adults with mental illness. And then we also have a substance use services track. So if people have an interest in working with people primarily with addiction issues, then they might take that track. We also do blended. So most of my students who are going to have a future in a clinical role will do a little bit of all of those. So they'll see kids as young as 10 typically, and adults up through 110. So when we bring students in, our goal is to use the internship as an opportunity to provide a good clinical educational experience for our students, but also to recruit a new employee for us. And so it's kind of a win-win. It's why we have a paid internship program, because you are not going to be sipping or getting coffee and filing papers and making copies. You're going to be carrying a caseload, and you're going to be learning how to do a clinical assessment and do a treatment plan and implement interventions with clients and do crisis and medications and advocacy and case management and all of those things that you learn about in class. We really want that student experience when you're at your internship site to put all of those into practice. What I pulled up here next is a sample career progression for an MSW student. So this would kind of be a typical progression that someone would take. And sometimes they'll even start with us as a BSW, do that internship here. And because we have so many different sites and programs, they can have a totally different experience here for their master's degree. And so they may end up doing both internships and may have two totally different supervisors, towns, sites, experiences, and still have that paid opportunity working in a rural setting. So typically someone will come in, do an internship. Our goal, like I said, is to offer our students. We are currently in the process of putting job offers together for our students that are going to be graduating in May this year. So you would know pretty early on that you have some stability and security, that your job is going to be here when you graduate. I did not have that luxury when I got my master's degree. I did my internship here at Sinnissippi a long time ago, and they were full. And they said, sorry, we don't have a position for you. And so in the time that I have been kind of heading up our internship program, that's not been my experience. So if everything goes well, we are forever expanding. So get your master's degree. After you get that offer of employment, then you start full-time employment. Then we also offer clinical supervision. I also do our clinical supervision for our licensure because I really enjoy that also. And so we provide the weekly, we do it in a group setting, weekly group supervision for all of our LCSW candidates. And then when somebody is ready to test, we do pay for all the testing. And so we've provided 2 years of preparation, then we pay for your testing. If you pass your test and become an LCSW, then you get, it says automatic salary increase. It's a pretty nice automatic salary increase. So that's something to look forward to. And then we have, because we are a National Health Service Corps site, our students, once they're licensed with a 2-year commitment to our agency, can get student loan repayment. And so we have quite a few of our staff who then do the student loan repayment. And so 2 years post-master's degree, you're employed full-time, making pretty decent money, more than I ever thought I would make as when I signed up in social worker school, and not have any student loan debt, which is pretty fantastic. So we are always excited to have students here. We're always excited to partner with schools and say, give us all of your students. It's pretty rare that we put a cap on how many students we have at a time, but we really value this being an educational and a teaching environment for our future social workers. So don't ever hesitate to reach out to anybody if there's questions, or you want to come and take a tour or sit in on something for a day and say, I don't know, social work, is it for me? I was going to be a high school English teacher. And here I am 20 years later in a social work position. So if you haven't thought about it, might be a good fit for you.
All right. Well, thank you, Cris, for that great synopsis of Sinnissippi's internship programs. I am a proud University of Illinois alumnus, so I am always happy to partner with programs at the University of Illinois. And I hope that we get to meet some students that get interested in this program. So thank you all for participating this afternoon. I really enjoyed hearing about this new program.